I'm Mackie Kravitz. I am a sophomore theater major with a minor in the entertainment industry within the film school here at USC. And I'm so excited to be hosting CU this semester. I was an associate producer last year. What makes me relatable, I guess, to my viewers is that I'm just a fun-loving college student pursuing the arts, knowing that everyone has said, you won't make it, but I'm still gonna do it. I have a passion for it. I love sharing stories. I'm a storyteller. I cannot wait to get to know all these different people, find out their stories, and I love the Dodgers. I love food. Honestly, the biggest foodie ever. I'll zone out in class watching tasty videos, spend countless hours doing that. I love cooking, as well as tasty video stuff. I love doggies. I have 2 puppies at home, Zoe and Bam Bam, shout out. I'm so excited to host CU and have so many different guests from all different backgrounds. I'm really excited to see what makes people different, and I think exploring what people do, their backgrounds, what they're interested in, some of their passions. I think that's all gonna come together and make some really great episodes. I want to do more interactive stuff, not just talking. So hopefully we'll get some artists, some magicians, some dancers, I don't know. We'll have fun with it and see what happens. Hopefully I'm gonna get some people for my time.
Welcome to CU at USC. I'm your Friday night host, Mackie Kravitz, and tonight we are joined by a spiritual medium. It's going to make for a great episode, so be sure to keep watching. Hi guys, welcome back to CU at USC. I'm joined now by Brett San Antonio. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
It's an honor.
So your title is a spiritual medium. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. For me, understanding what that, spiritual medium, there's so many different types of people that are connecting and that have a title like that. And I think it's important for me, especially in this sort of arena, to really kind of lift up the veil a little bit and kind of refresh the perspective of what a medium is and what a spiritual medium is, and this is sort of the platform that I'm looking to sort of explore that.
Perfect. So mediums kind of get mixed in with psychics and fortune tellers. So what makes a spiritual medium separate from that?
Well, for me, it's very different in the way in which I connect with people, because each person I connect with is very different, and everything that's coming through for everybody is it's about respecting people. It's about respecting, each person and how they're handling their lives and how they're going through their experience. So a psychic and a medium, for me, a medium is someone who can connect with people that are no longer physically here. A psychic is somebody that is essentially, connecting to energy that is currently present within someone's life and giving them guidance.
Mm-hmm. So can you explain to us a typical session with you? How would it go?
Oh, it's fun. Because every session, like I said, every session is very different. So when I go in, each person that comes in, it's really about respecting each person's boundaries and respecting each person and making people feel comfortable. When each person comes in, I don't ask any questions of them. I just connect with whoever's coming through, and I just go through my process with them. How I connect, the way in which, what to expect during the reading, how they want to interact with, how they're going to interact with me. So it's a really just kind of getting them climatized to my style, and then also giving them a description of how I understand energy and what to expect during a reading.
Understanding energy, is that something that you're born with, or is that something you've kind of developed through these years?
Well, for me, it's something that it's an evolution that's occurred throughout my entire life. Obviously as a kid, having experiences that I didn't understand was confusing. I didn't have many people that I could really turn to. It was just something that we didn't talk about. So when as I went through college and I went through, I had a lot of people in my life, a lot of friends, family pass. I had some really amazing experiences, but I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to frame it. So to me, my belief systems didn't allow me to understand it in a way that made me embrace it. So it took me quite a while for me to get to this point where I'm doing this with people every single day.
So you kind of discovered this talent based on your own experiences, like in your personal life.
Yeah, I mean, everything, you know, when I went to school, you know, I went to school to be a teacher. I've always been a person that wanted to be there to uplift people, to bring empowerment to people, to explore the inner workings of how to bring clarity to people's lives. And during that process, I started to realize that I had a connection with people in a way that I couldn't explain away. I had experiences as I was traveling with people I didn't even know, and I knew things that were very specific about them, about people that had passed, and bringing that to them in an empowered state really kind of like, the light bulb went off. It was kind of an aha moment, so.
Wow, so when you're acting as a medium between these two dimensions, I guess, what are you seeing? Are you hearing it? Are you feeling it? What's the aura?
It's not weird. It's not creepy. For me, it's a blending effect. I consider it as, think of it as like an awake dream. So when I go in, it's about focusing, having my intentions very clear of how I want to connect. Who I'm going to be connecting with is very different because each person that I connect with is as unique as each one of us. So I have to allow them to sort of explore their personality with me and allow them to become comfortable with me. And then it starts, and then it
just goes.
Exactly.
So are there more than one person that you're joined by? You have parties?
Yeah, it's like a party. I mean, it really is. It's basically like a catered cocktail party, however you want to think of it. I open the doorway, and anybody that wants to come through, guided through my intentions, comes through in their own way. Think of it as like a personalities that come through that are really loud. They'll come in real quick. They're really excited. You know, so it's really fun interacting with these types of these personalities that are coming through.
What's kind of the craziest one that you've encountered so far?
The craziest one? To me, it's amazing. I mean, not crazy, but I would say the most, every person I connect with is so divinely set up. So for me, every person is, it's exciting. The energy that comes through from that side, from non-physical side, is just invigorating. So for me, every experience is exciting.
Do you feel that you know the people that you're joined by better than the person who's in front of you? Like, do you get a better feeling from them?
I have the perspective where there's no resistance about their personality. So for me, it's connecting to that eternal side of who they are, but also maintaining the essence of who they really are, and really reflecting it back to them, and giving them a real clearer picture of how they understand themselves, how they were in the physical environment, how they connected to the person in the physical environment, and that might not be something that they could be consciously aware of, and it kind of like opens that veil up for them a little bit.
Okay, so moving into LA, obviously you're in the like entertainment capital. So have you gotten opportunities about like how are psychics and mediums portrayed in media? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, to put it lightly, I would think that I think it's changing. I think that there's wonderful opportunities for people to, you know, they have the people on shows like, you know, Tyler the Medium, Hollywood Medium, or I think it's called the Tyler Hollywood Medium.
Okay.
People that have other shows out there. I think it's important to bring conscious awareness to this, but I also think it's important to understand that this is not for entertainment. I take this very seriously because it is taking care of people. It is taking my connection and allowing people to connect to something that they, you know, in the media they do. It's a little, to me, my opinion would be it's a little bit stale. In the way in which they're projecting it out. I think that there can be a little bit more of a breath of fresh air that needs to be kind of infused in it. Some reality shows can be a little bit, you know, my experiences with some reality shows have been a little bit, you know, not what I expected, but that's, I guess, the entertainment world.
That's just what
it
is.
I guess that's.
Do you have a certain story that really made you like think back and, wow, this is what I want to do. This is why I'm here. Did you have an experience like that?
Yeah, no. The first time I had an experience was it was about 12 years ago. I had an experience. I was in Puerto Rico and I met this woman who she was working in a diner, and I went up to her and I felt really drawn to her, and I started to talk to her, and I started bringing forward her some loved ones of hers and bringing some clarity to her situation. She was going through a lot, and there was a lot of things that were coming through, and with the gratitude and the amount of just amazing. She just was blown away in a way that it wasn't about me, it was about her. You see, so it was an incredible experience that lifted that need for it to be something other than what it was, which was an amazing connection with a person that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so that kind of like set it all in motion. And then every experience I've ever had after that was just unbelievable. I mean, each person I connect with, every experience is always synchronistically connected. Every person, I always say to everyone that comes in, there's no coincidence that you're sitting in front of me. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything is divinely set up. So understanding that there's so much more going on here, and there's so much energy and harmonics that we sometimes forget in the physical world, to remember and to embrace in every single moment of our life.
So this girl in Puerto Rico, sorry, going back, you were not working. It was just kind of drawn to you.
Yeah.
So do you get visited by people even when you're off the clock?
It happens. I mean, for now, at the point where I'm now, I know how to sort of finesse that relationship I have with non-physical or spirit energy, but I don't shut it off. It's not. It's very natural. It doesn't overwhelm me. It's not. It's exhilarating. So anytime I have an opportunity to connect with it, I do. I have. If I feel drawn to somebody, I'll be drawn to them, and it's about respect as well.
So does the auras, I guess, or the people that come and visit, I don't know what you call them. What would you call them?
I call them either non-physical or spirit energy.
Spirit energy, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the spirit energies, do you ever have other people's spirit energies come visit you when they're not present?
Not usually. No, I mean, I don't have anybody that's coming through. I have when I'm connecting to somebody, there has to be a direct link between, so if I'm sitting in front of you, there's a direct link between you and me and the person that's coming with them. Think of it as an invitation. It's like an RSVP. Like when anyone comes in, they're coming in, with the person they want to connect with.
Is that usually like a relative, or can it be a friend? What is it most likely?
It's somebody that they were connected to, whether it be a friend, family member, somebody that they were connected to, that they loved or that they were ever, connected to in the physical environment.
Is it ever like a dog or like a pet?
Well, I mean, for me, I don't connect with it because I'm not the perspective of an animal. So, for me, I wouldn't communicate with it.
That's a whole different world.
That's a whole nother world that I'm not really. I don't know how that operates. I don't know. I don't connect with that.
It's strictly humans.
Exactly.
From the past. That's very interesting. Wow, that's really cool. So, I guess I would ask, what's your favorite thing about doing this?
Oh, what's my favorite thing? My favorite thing is just the ability to bring conscious awareness to people that there is so much love and so much well-being around everyone, and that that people that are no longer physically focused, the ones that we, are, I call it the team. It's the team around us, bringing that forward and reminding people that this is an opportunity to create everything that we want in this physical environment, and that they're here and they're part of it. They're not separate from us.
I love that. Stay right here. When we come back, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Brett more about his spiritual awakenings. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
The year was 1938, and the U.S. sat on the brink of another world war. The American people looked for diversion from the trials and tribulations of a new century and its new problems. In 1940, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt authorized the release of an entirely new form of entertainment.
Today, a hope of many years standing is in large part fulfilled.
It was called the Trojan Visual and Auditory Mimeograph Device, or Trojan Vision for short. As bombs fell and war was waged, society tuned to 8.1 for relief. Throughout American history, Trojan Vision has shown us the moments of America's triumphs, spreading the finest programming throughout Greater Los Angeles and worldwide online. Watch Trojan Vision and see history being made.
Welcome back to See You at USC. Tonight I am joined by a spiritual medium, Brett San Antonio. Thank you for being here once again. And my question moving forward was, so spiritual mediums and psychics, a lot of people get them kind of confused. Their meanings are kind of twisted. Psychics are more about the future. So can you explain what a spiritual medium does in regards to the future?
Right, I just kind of clear it up a little bit. A medium is actually, they do have a psychic connection or a connection to the person that is sitting in front of them. A medium is also somebody who's connecting to non-physical energy. A psychic does not connect to people that aren't physically there. So it's a little different. But psychics, so a lot of the times they'll use, they're called divination tools, like tarot cards, or different ways in which, numerology or astrology that connect them to focus on a particular aspect of the person in front of them. A lot of their stuff can be very generalized. It can be, sometimes some people use it for entertainment purposes, or just to kind of go in and get, it's just kind of for fun. But for me, this is very different in the way, in terms of future casting as well. Psychics do a lot of future casting. For me, it's so important to allow people to go through their life and about their process of their experience, because you are the artist of your life. And to give someone a prediction disempowers that process. So I don't like to give hard predictions with people because it's a moving target. We are an energetic system, so we have so much energy around us at our disposal in terms of creating things, and to understand that nothing's set in stone, that we come in with a blueprint, and that we can create our reality and create our experience however we so choose to. And to give predictions kind of hijacks people. So I don't do, for me it's predicting future events, specific future events, like who you're gonna marry, who's gonna be the married, or is this the right person for me? It's more of how I go into the textures of the energy of somebody and how they're connecting, and the harmonics and the resonance of the relationships and their family, and then combining that with that connection to non-physical or spirit energy.
It's almost like helping them make the decision themselves.
Exactly.
Kind of come to terms with it.
I call it like it's like a camera, it's like binoculars backwards. Sometimes we're not the best readers of ourselves, so we're looking through a lens that's a little bit foggy. I'm here as a facilitator to remind them of who their divine self is. It's not to tell them, it's to remind them.
That's really cool. And do you ever find that talking to people that have passed kind of gives them more clarity, more light onto the situation that they're in the present?
Oh, absolutely. That is the essence of the reading. The essence of the reading is connecting to the person and validating, specific personality traits, the way they do their hair, the way they do their makeup. I mean, you name it. everything that they want to communicate with me, especially with their personality, they'll come through. But then they start talking about the person's life. They start talking about, how they can be more fully integrated with no judgment, or we should do this or should do that. It's about giving them the opportunity to reconnect with that which is them.
Do you act as the voice of the spirit, or is it kind of like you're holding kind of a conversation between the two?
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to say. I look at it as the simplest form the simplest way that I could describe it is, if you remember back in the day when we used to have tape recorders, okay, the tape recorder, when they're interacting with me, I'm kind of just pressing the play button, okay? Most of the times, most of us are not connecting to it because we're hitting the fast forward and the play button, and it sounds it's kind of staticky.
Yeah.
So I'm here as a vessel to create that connection, and with my intentions guiding all of that, which is always empowerment, focus, and clarity, and of course respect.
Respect, most of all, of course.
Respecting someone's legacy.
Has there ever been a situation where the spirit was not so respectful towards your client?
No, everybody that comes through, I set the tone. So I'm the tone setter, meaning everything that's coming through, I allow the person who's coming through demonstrate their personality traits, demonstrate who they are in their own unique, some people are different. Everyone's different. So I validate them through the way in which they're interacting with me. So however they are, I mean, they'll never come. I've never had anyone come in that was mean or rude. I definitely have had some quiet people, some people that, they have opinions, you know what I'm saying, and then specific types of. But it's always important to keep it as something that's about their true legacy, who they really were, and who they now are.
Keeping it present, keeping it going.
Yes.
What are some of the past experiences that you've had talking to people and clients that have helped you in your personal life. Do you ever have self-revelations while you're in?
That is the most poignant statement you could make, because that's exactly what's going on. It's like healing. It's all healing all at once. So when I'm connecting, it is essentially healing everything in the room. Me, myself, the person, and everything coming through. And it's a very fascinating process, and how it really lifts up the energy in the room, and everyone feels that clarity.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting to know each person. You get to know yourself better,
yeah.
along with these spirits coming with you. It sounds really amazing. Is it genetic by any chance, or is it kind of just a gift you know you had?
I wouldn't say, for me, I wouldn't say, I mean, I don't have any, I'm not like a third line medium or like, you know, I think that there could be a component to it that way. I'm not exactly sure exactly how that works, or the mechanics of it. But for me, it's something that I embrace. It's a different time. This is a new awakened state. We're in a new awakened, society where people are becoming more aware of the things around them. They're noticing that there's no such thing as a coincidence anymore. The word synchronicity, you see these numbers, you see all these amazing sort of occurrences that are happening in people's lives that are like, there's no such thing as a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. So people are, every single day I work with people that are like, these things are happening to me, and I can't figure, it's just amazing. This is happening more and more. People are going to start to realize this. This is the new wave, the new sort of energy coming in, and people are going to start to interact with it in their own unique way.
Do you see patterns with your clients, like the same thing happening to like certain people?
I consider energy as momentum of energy. So each person that I connect with, when I look at their energy, most people don't realize that they are the director of their own energetics. They're the director of their own experience. So some people make the same energetic choices, and they're expecting different results. So then it looks like life is happening to them rather than because of them. So I'm there to sort of wipe the mirror off a little, and then having them integrate the information that's coming through for them from, and giving them the opportunity to explore that in their own unique way.
Obviously, these sessions, I'm sure, are very like emotional and personal. Do people kind of break down? Do you see like a wide range of emotions? What's kind of the tone?
Oh, right in the beginning, usually everyone's very anxious, obviously. As going to someone like myself, I'd use kind of anxiety, especially if it's your first time. But it's about releasing a little resistance too. Crying is a sign of releasing resistance. So there is a lot of crying, but it's not usually a sad cry. It's usually this sort of a cry that really brings them that awareness that this is not just, this is real, they're there with us, that they're having the conversation with us. And the range of emotions goes from, you name it, from anxiety to fear to sadness to elation. It always ends on that high note of elation and excitement and moving forward in clarity. So for me, my job is to facilitate and to be there for them in those experiences emotionally. And tissues too.
Yes,
yes.
Lots of tissues.
Tissues are good.
So going back earlier, I know on the first half of our show you experienced this gift through yourself and your own personal experiences, and you said you had some stories or people that came to visit you. How was that? How young were you when you got your first kind of?
Well, as a young, when I was younger, I didn't have the typical story of a medium who's, being visited by Uncle Joe and the angels came down. For me, I was very emotionally connected to, at night I couldn't sleep alone. I felt very overwhelmed with energy around me. I mean, I could visually see things, but I couldn't understand it. And so I couldn't articulate. I was too young, and to articulate it to adults that didn't necessarily know, I mean, you don't have any frame of reference, it's like coming off of another planet and then be like, what's that? You don't know what it is. So for me, it was about understanding it from a psychological perspective. So that's where it went. So I didn't interact with it for the majority of my life because it was something that I didn't necessarily, I thought it was kind of weird. It's just, you don't interact with it. It's just, you just go through your own life and that's what you do.
Didn't know what it was.
Yeah, didn't know.
Until that day in Puerto Rico.
Until that day, but it was a building up effect. So it wasn't just one day. It was experiences that I had with people that friends, family members, that were very close to me that passed tragically, that I, reconnected to them in a very profound way, but I didn't know how to frame it. And then going forward with it, it started to evolve, just like everything evolves. It evolves, but once you open that doorway, once you open that surrendering to that, then it started to really come full force.
Do you believe that there's a way for people to learn how to see these people?
I think everyone has the opportunity to connect with that which is non-physical, but in terms of training someone to be a medium, I don't know how that works. I don't do that. I mean, I don't offer classes on it. I think it's offering people the opportunity to connect with it in their own way, because there isn't just one way. There's each person, just like an artist, is different. So an artist, you can't mimic somebody else's art. You have to explore it for yourself. So that's the surrendering process, to allow yourself to do that.
So when people come for a reading from you, they're getting a completely different experience than any other psychic, medium, anyone else they would ever go to?
It's extremely different. It's not just it's just different in the way in which it's presented, and also in which the way it powers them to really learn how to reconnect to them, to the people that are no longer physically with them, in new ways. And I always provide people with guidance as they go forward. So it's, they come to me for like a reading for a couple hours, and then if they ever have questions, they can, text me or talk to me. I consider them family.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I guess my last question would be, when people leave your sessions, how do you want them to feel?
Well, it's more of it's not what I want them to feel, that they are, that the connection was there, that I made the connection, that their loved one came through, and that they are aware that they're aware of them.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Thank
for coming on,
you. It was fun.
Brett.
Yes.
It was so much fun. Be sure to watch See You at USC every single weekday at 6:30 here on Trojan Vision. Awesome. Wrapped.
Okay,
That's
cool.
So interesting.
Yeah.
What?
You're watching Trojan Vision. For more of your favorite shows, check us out at trojanvision.com and like us on Facebook.
Here's the story of a TV manager who had a team to help out with